Hola amigos, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm gonna talk about the cost of living in Mexico City. I had lived in Mexico City for a month and I just left there a few days ago. So let's go into the breakdown. Number one is food. I separate dining out and groceries. It is so easy to spend a significant amount of money on dining out in Mexico City. I didn't go for any nice restaurants just because it's so convenient. A shopping mall is just a few minutes away from my Airbnb, and it has a very big food court over there. It is just so easy to pick up food on my way back home. Besides, Japanese food is so popular in here. Whenever I crave for rice and noodle, I will go for Japanese food. One restaurant is called Moshi Moshi. It is pretty good, but it's slightly more expensive. Last time I ordered 2 plates of sushi, 1 tempura udon, and 1 dessert and 1 drink. It cost me around 500 peso, including tip. Similar to other big cities, Starbucks is very popular in Mexico City. I am not a loyal fan of Starbucks. However, my room is quite small, and there's a Starbucks just right next to my Airbnb. So I'll go there like 4 to 3 times a week to work. Drink over there is ranged from 40 to 60 peso, where cafe in downtown or Michoacan may charge you 50 to 70 peso. I'm talking about like hot chocolate, green tea latte, or frappa. So Starbucks is not relatively expensive in Mexico City if you need comfortable sitting, Wi-Fi, and air conditioning. However, whenever I go, I will order something to eat as well. Every time it's around 90 peso in total. When I was in Guanajuato, I went to my favorite cafe and ordered the similar things, and I spent less than 60 peso each time. So this month I spent $344 on dining out. It's terrible. Oh, and the exchange rate at that time is around 19.1 peso to $1. Since I was being very lazy, my grocery bill was around $80. It is still higher than my month in Guanajuato, where I cook 2 meals a day, because in my neighborhood I don't see people selling vegetables on the street, so I can only shop in supermarket. Third is local transportation. In Mexico City, you can take public transportation from 5 to 7 peso, which is not even half a dollar. However, I took many Uber rides because places I wanted to go were too far from the metro. I don't mind to walk at all. However, the sun in Mexico City is just way too strong. So this month I spent $86 on transportation. And next is tour and admission. In Mexico City, I only joined 2 tours. Two tours. One is free walking tour, but I pay 100 peso for tip. Another one is Teotihuacan, is $36, including pickup and drop off, a tour guide, and admission. The tour just gave enough time to walk up to the sun and moon pyramids. Then they took you to a souvenir shop and a very touristy restaurant, which cost you around 205 peso for buffet. The food was okay, but the restaurant had people sing and dance. Teotihuacan was not difficult to go. You can go there by bus at the Mexico North Station or by Uber. The good thing about the tour is that we arrived there at 8:30 in the morning and left at around 12 o'clock. So it was not too hot, and we got to see 2 important pyramids. It's perfect if you were going with kids or seniors. The downside is it was really rushed. I couldn't take my time to film or walk around. In Mexico City, there are lots of museums. Frida Kahlo Museum is the most expensive one, which is $13. Since I don't know too much about Frida Kahlo, I rented an audio guide, which is around $4. I think it's worth to rent an audio guide to understand the museum better, otherwise it's such a waste of money and time. Besides, it's better to purchase your ticket online in advance, because in front of the house there are always 2 long queues no matter weekdays or weekends. I booked my ticket 4 days in advance so that I can get the earliest time slot, which was 10:30, but I couldn't get into the museum until 11 o'clock. Some museums are free, such as the National Palace. It has the murray printed by Frida Kahlo's husband, Diego Vieira, but they have to keep your ID while visiting. So this month I spent $51 on tour and admission. For cell phone data, I top up twice this month, so this month I spent around $16. Then is the rent. It is the most important part. Since I was planned to go to a certain place to learn Spanish, I was looking for places that were close to it. So my Airbnb is close to a metro station called Central Medical. The neighborhood has a very big shopping mall with brands. The apartment building is very new with security guards. I live in a 2-bedroom apartment with my landlord's daughter. The room can fit in a double bed, a desk, a chair, a very big closet, and a TV. I had my own bathroom. Since it is a city apartment, the space is smaller but it's modern and clean. My roommate is very nice. She showed me many places and she brought me to try the best pozole. One downside of this apartment is the window is facing inside. As mentioned earlier, when I worked, I need to go to Starbucks in order to get some fresh air and sunlight. The rent is $460. If you don't need to look for a specific area, I think you can find something like in mid 300s. Next is tuition for Spanish class. Okay, I was supposed to pay 6,100 peso with books for 3 weeks, but the class was terrible. I will talk about it in details in my other video, but at this moment they agreed to refund me the tuition. So this month I only spent 950 peso on 2 books, which they already used in the class, which is around $51. When I was in Mexico City, I took my chance to replenish some of my skincare products. It's around $333. It sounds a bit too much, but those things can last for 3 to 6 months. Currently, I'm practicing the no poo method, which I rarely use shampoo. Besides, I only purchase lipstick as my makeup once a while, and I don't do my nails. So skincare is my main expenses on personal care. The last one is miscellaneous. I spent around $100 mainly on clothing. I replaced a pair of jeans because my old one was very damaged. I had been washing and wearing it a lot when I was in Guanajuato. Besides, I also got 1 new t-shirt and 1 new shirt. So in total it's $1,509 for me to live in Mexico City for a month. It's like double than my cost of living in Guanajuato. Those extra dollars were spent on higher rent, Uber rides, dining out, and Starbucks, as well as some clothing and skincare. On top of that, I also bought some video equipment online. Those work expenses. I hope I can break even in the future. The spending pattern that I had in Mexico City is similar to the spending pattern that I had when I was at home. Since the living space is smaller, I tend to go out to eat more, and it's so handy to pick up stuff from the shopping mall. I never track my expenses before this trip because I feel that it's very stressful on counting every penny that I spend. But actually it's a good habit because I can see how much I spent on dining out. It is not just costing more, it's not healthy as well. I consume more sugar but less vegetables. Spending habit and living standard is different from everyone. I'm just sharing mine in here. What I want to remind people is that if you plan to live in another country because you think the cost of living is lower, don't just count on rent, food, and gasoline, because we have desire and needs. You have to put those things into your budget as well, because our habits don't just change overnight. And if you come to a beautiful country like Mexico, you're wasting your life if you don't do any domestic traveling. I would say prepare another 50 to 100% to your budget. You don't have to use it, but you know you have money set aside and you will feel more secure. Okay, that's it from me. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. I'll see you next time. Bye.